it has to be a collaborative effort. I mean, we've gotten non-for-profit organizations that have keyed in on these issues that are collaborating. We've had academia that has been part of the solution, scientists that are being involved, and engineers, and that are asking the question of resiliency for not only for Puerto Rico but for everywhere else. What I see as the opportunity is, we are seeing these effects of climate change very early on in Puerto Rico, and it presents itself as a platform to innovate in Puerto Rico. Now, innovation, as you know, sometimes it's successful, sometimes it fails, but notwithstanding, I see it as a lost opportunity if we were just going to rebuild up to code as opposed to try to innovate and incorporate that. Now, there's plenty of innovations regarding the hardening, the building up to codes, the materials that are being used for homes, for roads, the materials that are being used for energy grids, the resiliency of those energy grids, how do renewables stack up versus traditional methods within storms, and so forth. And I think we have a wealth of that information with stakeholders, but really it is sort of a dynamic process. And what we want, and part of what we're doing over here, is inviting innovators to come to Puerto Rico, inviting them to see the platform to demonstrate that their innovation in resiliency can work, whether it be for our coastlines, whether it be for hardening the electric grid or so forth, to come to Puerto Rico, innovate, and make sure that we can rebuild better and stronger than before. It is open. It is an open discussion, but already has plenty of stakeholders that are committed to making resilient cities. We're working with the local contractors so that they can be a bigger, broader part of our rebuild. We make no bones about it. We want to make sure that anything that we can do on a local level to facilitate that it is locally driven, we can do, and we will extend it to the limitations of the federal components with using the federal funding, so that we can drive that capital to be used by Puerto Ricans and to stay in Puerto Rico. But it is a massive undertaking. Again, let me put the numbers in context. $140 billion to rebuild within the next 10 years. There's going to be investment from opportunity zones. That's outside investment, outside of all of that. And when you have those components, what you want to make sure is that you have all of the tools available to yourself to make it better. And not everything is cookie cutter. There are things that we can learn from other jurisdictions. There are some best practices that could be applied to Puerto Rico. And there is added benefit, I believe, to say, for example, bringing innovation from other places, implementing it in Puerto Rico, and have a train-the-trainer effort. Puerto Rico has had chronic problems in the past on certain areas. I think there needs to be a commitment to fixing those chronic problems. What are those chronic problems? The energy grid, right? Because the energy grid is not only a problem of resiliency, it's also a problem of cost, it's a problem of reliability. So making this shift is important for overall investment. Energy becomes the linchpin of society, and we saw it in the aftermath of the hurricane. And that is one of the things that, that folks, investors are looking for. Number two, they're looking for a stable set of rules that are competitive. I think we offer that in Puerto Rico, and obviously with certain federal incentives that have also laid the foundation, we can make the case for investment in Puerto Rico. Thirdly, and particularly for P3, project managers, just looking at the opportunities. And again, because we had already, even prior to the storm, underwhelming infrastructure, And because now we have the resources to rebuild, there is this unique opportunity to start seeing how we can rebuild and how we can innovate on those sectors. There is the historic success of our P3 model in Puerto Rico, and there is certainly a need to do all of these things. So attending to some of the chronic ills, whether it be bureaucracy, labor force participation, our energy grid, and overall infrastructure for investment, I think all of those we can address in the rebuild effectively. And with the folks that are looking to participate in the bidding process for P3s, it's just the opportunities to bid fairly, to bring their efforts to Puerto Rico or create them in Puerto Rico, and sort of a long pipeline of projects that presents a unique opportunity, and that in aggregate in Puerto Rico would create an enormous synergy for us to move forward in the future.